A young Eric Wright, who would soon become the famed Compton rapper Eazy-E, was pushing drugs on Compton streets. N.W.A.'s manager, Jerry Heller, recalled that Eric sold marijuana and cocaine. He also recalled that Eric was referred to as a thug. The hood where he grew up was a dangerous place. He was a small guy. Thug was a role that was widely understood on the street. It gave you a certain level of protection in the sense that people hesitated to fuck with you. Likewise, dope dealer was a role that accorded you certain privileges and respect. In 1986, at the age of 22, Eric amassed a fortune of $250,000 from his drug dealing business. At around the same time, Eric witnessed his cousin being shot and killed, and decided he could make much more money in the Los Angeles hip hop scene, which was quickly growing in popularity. Thus, he began recording songs from his parents' garage, starting Ruthless Records. The original idea of Ruthless Records was that the company was owned jointly by Eric and Jerry Heller, in essence 50-50. Jerry insisted that Eric take 80%, while he took 20%, stating that a manager of his caliber should take that much. Eric would invest much of his money into the company, at first $250,000 and later $1 million. Eazy-E sought an introduction to Steve Yano, who initially denied him, but was impressed with E's persistence. Yano would set up a meeting with Dr. Dre, who at this point was a member of the world-class Wrecking Crew, a group that formed earlier in 1983, bringing DJ Yella along with him. N.W.A. grew when they brought in Arabian Prince and Ice Cube, shortly after he began rapping in the group CIA. N.W.A. would release their first track, Panic Zone, on August 13th, 1987. Eazy-E's single, Boys in the Hood, which was written by Ice Cube, saw larger success, having 243 million listens as of the release of this video. This track's success initiated the development of N.W.A.'s EP, N.W.A. and the Posse. This EP had 5 songs, which included Eazy and Ice Cube's song Dope Man, and Eazy's solo track 8 Ball, both written by Ice Cube. The EP was published by Macola Records, which contributed many of its songs to the EP. N.W.A. would release their breakout album, Straight Outta Compton, on August 8, 1988. The album's first 3 songs, Straight Outta Compton, Fuck the Police, and Gangsta Gangsta, reflected the anger of America's urban youth. The album's tracks introduced the group, the themes of racial profiling and police brutality, and the worldview of the inner city's youth. The album also pioneered the genre of gangsta rap, which at the time was referred to as reality rap by the group. Dr. Dre and DJ Yella composed the beats for all of the songs, with Dre making small rapping appearances throughout the album. The DOC, Ice Cube, and MC Ren were responsible for most of the album's lyrics. The album's track, Fuck the Police, was the most controversial by far. The FBI's assistant director, Milt Ulrich, sent a letter to Ruthless Records, stating, "Advocating violence and assault is wrong, and we in the law enforcement community take exception to such action." This letter is present at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio. As a result, the police refused to provide security at many of N.W.A.'s concerts, hurting their plans for touring. Nonetheless, the FBI's letter only drew further publicity to the group. Released 3 months after N.W.A.'s breakout album, Eazy-Duz-It hit the shelves of record stores all around the country on November 22, 1988. The album was dominated by Eazy's persona, with rapper MC Ren appearing only as a guest rapper. Behind the scenes, the album was a group effort. The music was handled by Dr. Dre and DJ Ella. The lyrics were mostly written by MC Ren, with contributions from Ice Cube and the DOC appearing as well. The album would later earn double platinum, selling 2.5 million copies in the United States. The album was labeled as West Coast hip-hop, gangsta rap, and later as the golden age of hip-hop. The album would reach number 41 on the Billboard Top 200. 1989 would see the reissue of N.W.A. and the Posse on CD, as well as the release of the DOC's debut album, No One Can Do It Better, on July 16, 1989. This album was essentially a collaboration between the DOC and Dr. Dre. It was notably free of many of the themes of gangster rap seen before. It would later become a number 1 album for the label. Ice Cube would leave the group in December of 1989 due to disputes over royalties. Cube had written most of the tracks in Straight Outta Compton and had contributed to Eazy-Duz-It, but was only paid around $32,000 in total for his work. A lawsuit brought Cube against the group's manager Jerry Heller, which was later settled in court. Cube wasted no time in putting together his debut album, America's Most Wanted, which was released in April of 1990. The album made a point of keeping his former group mates out of its lyrics, instead introducing Cube's solo career and his frequent theme of black nationalism. N.W.A.'s title track in their 1990 EP, 100 Miles and Running, however, dissed the young rapper heavily, stating, "We started with 5, but yo, one couldn't take it. So now it's 4, because the 5th couldn't make it." The video would depict the members of N.W.A. in a jail cell, while an Ice Cube lookalike was released. Also heard on the EP, and later included on E44 was the track, a full-blown diss against Ice Cube. The song 100 Miles and Runnin' is Dre's last use of up-tempo beats, which had dominated the hip-hop scene in the late 1980s. Instead, he focused on using a more mid-tempo beat, which made popular in G-Funk, a subgenre that became around the time. This beat was sometimes made with a synthesizer and was seen on N.W.A.'s 1991 song Always Into Something. The G-Funk style would later begin to dominate both the West Coast and East Coast rap scene for many years to come, showing up in Dr. Dre's album The Chronic, that I will provide more detail on later. The group's second full-release album, E44 was released in May of 1991 and is widely regarded as some of Dr. Dre's finest productions. The album sold around 2 million copies and peaked at number 1 on the Billboard Top 200s. The album also shows a clear animosity toward the group's former member, Ice Cube, with a line from Always Into Something referring to Ice Cube as "Your bitch O'Shea," in reference to Cube's real name, O'Shea Jackson. The beef would continue to boil, however. Cube deliberately left out any criticism against the group in America's Most Wanted, but in Cube's second full-length studio album, Death Certificate, he launched a tirade of insults at the group. Ice Cube would diss his former group mates in the song No Vaseline by saying, "You looking like straight bozos. I saw it coming, that's why I went solo. Kept on stomping when y'all motherfuckers moved straight out of Compton. You got jealous when I got my own company, but I'm a man and ain't nobody humping me." Cube would also launch scathing insults at Eazy-E and Jerry Heller, even going so far as to call for their deaths. E44 would end up being the last album N.W.A. created, with Ice Cube's disses being the last straw. Dr. Dre, the D.O.C., and Michelet would depart from the group, joining Death Row Records in January of 1992, officially dissolving N.W.A. for good. While the group was dissolving, a dispute arose over Eazy-E retaining certain publishing rights over all work created by Dr. Dre, resulting in a beef between the two hip-hop giants. Dr. Dre would begin the beef, releasing the track Fuck With Dre Day and Everybody's Celebrating in November 1992 as a part of his album, The Chronic. The Sun's accompanying music video included a character named Sleazy-E, a satirical representation of the rapper, going around desperately searching for money. The disses continue coming in, with a track on The Chronic called Bitches Ain't Shit. Eazy-E's response to the beef would become one of the greatest diss tracks of all time. Released in October of 1993, Real Motherfucking G's would soon become Eazy-E's most popular song. Eazy-E accused Dr. Dre of being a homosexual, saying he was a she thing, and began criticizing Dr. Dre's new image by saying he and Snoop Dogg were studio gangsters, i.e., that they were gangsters only in the studio but did not practice the life they preached. The music video for Real Motherfucking G's included stills of Dre wearing makeup and a sequin jumpsuit. The photos dated back to Dr. Dre's world-class Wrecking Crew days, when the group wore matching outfits for their performances. Even Eazy-E's longtime friend, MC Ren, expressed his dislike for the rapper. He mentioned that Eazy-E was a big head and a wannabe megastar. The two rappers would make peace before Eazy-E's AIDS-related death in March of 1995, when they released their duet, The Motherfucking Real. All bad blood between the group members would cease, with Dre, MC Ren, and Ice Cube later expressing their reevaluated feelings about their friend in multiple songs from 1998 to 2006. By the death of Tupac, however, in September 1996, the LA rap scene began to fade. Only after Dre's successful signing of Eminem and his release of 2001 in 1999 was the hip hop scene reignited, allowing that genre and other regional artists to gain the spotlight once again. N.W.A.'s influence is one that is felt throughout the rap scene and the country to this day. On Spotify alone, N.W.A. sports around 5.3 million monthly listeners, proving that the group is still relevant. The movie Straight Outta Compton, released in 2015, helped build N.W.A.'s audience, bringing that group's music into the modern day.